opinions. The man said, I truly want an apology from these three young girls. Express your feelings, express your thoughts and beliefs. Don't damage any property, don't hurt anybody, and don't do anything like that. Yet, those three girls will probably never get that message. And even if they did, they'll probably still try to twist it on them that they're the victim, somehow, some way. Because they support Biden. They run with Black Lives Matter. They're going to tell you whichever which way, whichever, however, whenever, however, like I said, they're going to do whatever they can to push their message. And that's what they're doing. Now, I think I'm going to crack out 2 more articles here. But I'm going to read some, I'm going to just read some headlines. Former Twitter CEO says capitalists going to be the first to be shot in the revolution. I called him a brave bitch. A brave certifiable bitch, like Costello. That's his name. Now, he couldn't actually, I don't think he was actually able to be reached for a fucking comment. So, either way. Now, Twitter really is just a liberal cesspool. That's really all it is. It's fun to go on there and rile them up. Get them all hot and bothered when they're thinking, oh, we're winning the argument because there's 100 of us jamming you up, man. Jamming up your mentions, bro. Making your phone ring off the hook. That's really what they think. Now, the New York Post, this article is about the hours of Breonna Taylor's grand jury audio recordings were released. Hours of audio recordings of grand jury proceedings in the Breonna Taylor case were made public Friday, about a week after the panel returned no indictments on police officer for her killing. A Kentucky judge had originally ordered the recordings to be released Wednesday, but then granted Kentucky's Attorney General 2 days to edit out the personal information of witnesses in the case. The grand jury indictment of one of the officers involved is the botched drug raid in Louisville that led to Taylor's death, but only wanton endangerment for the shooting into her neighbor's apartment. That officer, Brett Hankinson, has pled not guilty, and 2 other cops could have potentially faced charges were not indicted. Attorney General Daniel Cameron has said that he did not recommend the grand jury indictment the police officer for the homicide for Taylor's killing. The officers who had a no-knock warrant killed Taylor after entering her Louisville apartment and engaging in exchanging gunfire with her boyfriend. Taylor's boyfriend, who said he believed he was firing at intruders breaking into the apartment, not police officers. Police were looking for drugs in the apartment during the raid, but none were recovered. Taylor's killing touched off a wave of anti-police brutality protests in Louisville and across the country. After the grand jury did not indict any officers of her killing, 2 cops were shot at a protest in the city last week. And that's true. But they did release the audio, and that didn't help anybody. That didn't help their case again at all. It just didn't. If you go on Twitter, the left is still running with it as far and as fast as they can. And when you think about how the left just runs with it, it's kind of fucked up because you're pushing the wrong narrative, you're selling the wrong narrative, you're making the person out to be this, that, the other thing, and it's not that. You're selling a lie, and you're believing a lie, you're pushing a lie, and you're thinking it's okay to do that, and it's not, because you're going to get people jammed up in all kinds of arguments, probably fisticuffs, all this, all over a fucking lie. And when you think of what the left does, the left is okay, I think, in my eyes, I think the left is okay with violence. I mean, you got Tom Arnold sharing Hope Hicks' cell phone number after she tested positive for the coronavirus. Tom Arnold is a real piece of shit. I think he's funny in some movies, but he's a real piece of shit. And I think a lot of people know that he's a real piece of shit. And I think that he's okay with being a real piece of shit. I got no problem saying that. I'm going to keep that $1.50 every time. This is from Fox News. Tom Arnold shared Hope Hicks' personal cell phone on Twitter just hours after news broke she tested positive for COVID. Hicks, a counselor to President Trump, tested positive for COVID-19 on Thursday. According to an administration official, she had traveled with the president a number of times within the last few days. In since-deleted tweet, Arnold offered fans an opportunity to speak with Hicks directly. Silent thoughts and prayers aren't enough for national treasure, Hicks hopes, the 61-year-old actor wrote. She needs to hear them. Arnold then shared a number he claimed to be her personal cell. The Star had been very outspoken in his disdain for Trump and the current administration. In June, he called for liberal men to exercise their Second Amendment rights on unmarked law enforcement in Washington and D.C. Yeah, I remember that too. The actor took to Twitter to encourage violence from people protesting police brutality in the wake of the death of George Floyd. President Arnold suggested that liberals in D.C. arm themselves. Second Amendment is for everyone, including black men with long guns. But it's fucking time for us white liberal men to stand up for our brothers and sisters, borrow our dad's hunting rifles, and go nose to nose with Trump's gang of misfit tools. Let's do it, he wrote on Twitter. I promise you, Tom Arnold wouldn't bust a nut in a grape fight. In a fruit fight. This motherfucker wouldn't fight himself out of a wet paper bag. This man couldn't take a shot to the face. This man is a bitch. He all talk. He's all bark. He ain't no bite. He's a punk. He's a bitch. He's mad. He's jelly. He's upset at Donald Trump. And it's proving more and more every time he opens his fucking mouth. The tweet was in response to a video showing people in riot gear forming a blockade in the national capital. However, it was unclear who the units were or whose orders they were following. And Tom Arnold is really just a piece of work. If he really thought it was going to work well for him, why did he delete that? You know, it didn't, obviously. And when you got people like Tom Arnold doing that kind of dumb shit, it's not surprising that he ends up with people either stroking his ego or getting fucking death threats. It doesn't surprise me, because that's some straight hoe shit. That's some straight bitch shit. Even if it's not a real number, man, you're playing a real dangerous fucking game. And he knows he is, and he doesn't care that he is. Because he's rich, he's white, and he works in Hollywood, so he thinks he's untouchable, even though he's not. Now, Minnesota police are investigating an alleged ballot harvesting by Ilhan Omar's supporters. It's not alleged. That's on video. Project Veritas verified that. Facts. That wasn't just, they didn't just come out swinging out of their butts with that. That was facts. Mans was on video showing that he is literally ballot harvesting, saying, I got 300 ballots in my car. Why would you have 300 ballots in your car? That makes no sense. Police in Minneapolis are investigating this is from Washington Examiner. Police in Minneapolis are investigating a report by a right-wing activist group of alleged illegal ballot harvesting by supporters of Ilhan Omar in Minnesota. We are in the process of looking into the validity of those statements. It's on a fucking video. It's on a video. Project Veritas reported on Sunday that the Minnesota Democrat supporters were illegally collecting ballots and bragging about it on social media. Although ballot harvesting, the act of the third party collecting ballots from the residents of voters, is legal in many states, the number of ballots collected per individual is often limited. In the Project Veritas report, a man identified as Laban Muhammad was seen boasting about the large numbers of ballots he collected. Muhammad said that he had collected 300 ballots for Jamal Osman, who is a member of the Minneapolis City Council. The Minnesota Supreme Court has ruled that there is a 3-person limit to the number of ballots that can legally be harvested. Numbers don't lie. You can see my car is full. All these here are absentee ballots. Look at all these for Jamal Osman, Muhammad said in the video. President Trump called for an investigation into the report. This is totally illegal. He's facts. He's not lying. Omar, senior communications with director Jeremy Slevin, dismissed Project Veritas' reporting as a distraction. A fucking distraction, proving that she's literally nah, man. She's a fucking nutcase, bro. The amount of the truth of this story is equal to the amount that Donald Trump has paid in taxes. 10 out of the last 15 years, 0, amplifying the coordinated right-wing campaign to delegitimize a free and fair election. This is fair, undermines our democracy, he said, according to Newsweek, while referring to the New York Times report on Sunday about Trump's taxes. So instead of answering the question like Ilhan should have done or her team should have done, They tried to go after Trump's taxes, just proving that they fucking are full of distractions and they're just playing a dirty fucking game that's getting exposed more and more all the time. Thank God for Project Veritas, because you know that shook Ilhan Omar and Jamal Osman's fucking... It shook their campaigns. I guarantee it shook them. Now, final article. You already know the deal here on HotBoxTalk. We keep it a buck, man. I don't fuck around. I keep it raw. I don't edit. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. I don't hold back punches. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna talk from my heart. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna be like these lefties out here talking out their asses, writing checks that their asses can't cash. Let's keep it $1.50. Now, this was on CNN, but this is from The Hill. Thomas Friedman to CNN, U.S. potentially heading to a second civil war. New York Times columnist Thomas Friedman on Thursday declared that the U.S. could be headed towards a second civil war following Trump's comments around not carrying out a peaceful transition to power should he lose in November. Trump has not said he would not leave. He has not said anything like that. They're trying to conflate this. That's what they're doing. You know, I began my career as a journalist covering Lebanon's second civil war and its history, and I'm terrified to find myself ending my career as a journalist covering America's potential second civil war in its history. Friedman told Anderson Cooper in an appearance on CNN. You really believe that, Cooper asked? Because, you know, Cooper's got to look fucking stunned. You know, I think what happened in the last few days is a 6-alarm fire, said Friedman, adding later that President of the United States has told us either I win the election or I delegitimize the election. Those are your choices, folks. That's not at all what he said. Friedman, a staunch critic of the president, also took aim at Republicans for not standing up to Trump. Yeah, so the fact that I'm just pointing out that it was more of the Civil War thing. Fuck Friedman and fuck Anderson Cooper. They're gonna they probably were loving to stroke each other's egos there and give CNN something to talk about. Let's keep it $1.50 all the way. You already know the deal. So the fact that they're talking about a second civil war and they're trying to put it all on Trump, this, that, the other thing, that's fucked up. And they know that's fucked up. And the whole world sees right now that there is something going on. And Tim Pool, Steven Crowder, Sticks, X, and Hammer, so many people have brought up a civil war, that there's not going to be one, there could be one, we could already be involved in one, that it's not going to happen, that it could happen. We've all heard it from different angles, different sides. And myself personally, do I think it's going to happen? I think we could already be in one personally. I think it could already be a cold type of a civil war. It's been happening for a long time. I think it's been in the works. I don't think it's a shock really to anybody, and I don't think it should be. I do think that the left wants what the left wants, and I think the left's going to do whatever they can to get it, and they're going to do whatever they can to achieve it. Now, when you have, I guess, staunch critics like Thomas Friedman and Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon and Brian Stelter, the great minds of society, shooting down Trump at every corner, I suppose at some point somebody's going to listen to that, and they're going to, I guess, side with that or be like, oh, I support that. That's what they're going to do. Now, I'm not saying that's got to be me, that's not got to be you, but that's going to be somebody that does that. And it's not going to be me. I'm never going to side with the liberals on that shit, dude. They don't really want to see a civil war. They just want to see an automatic win. They're the ones, when it comes to the transition of the presidency, if Trump loses, he's made it clear he will happily leave office. But there should be some question there if they're going to try to drag out the fucking mail count, if they're going to try to ballot harvest. There really needs to be some actual honest-to-God questions, and I think a lot of Americans want those questions to be answered. And the fact that the left and the mainstream media do everything they can to make it sound like Trump is the big bad wolf, the big bad guy, however you want to say it. He's Orange Man bad, right? That's what they're going to run with. That's how they're going to do it. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to push it. They want everybody to fall in line. They want only their elected officials to be in office. They don't want Republicans in office. They don't want anybody that thinks they're a free thinker around them. Let's be honest. That's why they go after Brandon Tatum, or they go after Anthony Bryan Logan, or they go after the Amazing Lucas, or they go after fucking Angry Man, or they go after so many other people on YouTube or Twitch, or people that are just talking to the black community or the Latino community or to the white community. They're just telling people like, yo, trying to follow Biden is not the right thing. Trying to follow DNC is not the right way. Being a liberal is not what it once was. So many people don't want to hear that. They don't want to see that. And these liberals that don't want to hear it and don't want to see that are really lost, bro. They really don't understand what they're even fighting for in my eyes. They end up trying to argue with you